Hey guys, it's Mary Rose from PsychicSoulmateReading.com. This video is a 3-card tarot reading forecast for our week ahead, and it doesn't matter if you're watching this way after because the reading and the message is intended for you. I call it the reading what you need to know for right here and now, and because you were drawn to watch it, that's the way spirit guides work. If something is not resonating with you completely, then just visit back because you'll notice some things had to unfold in your life for the message and for the reading to take effect. And so you take what you need and leave what you don't, okay? So today I'm working with one of my favorite decks, the Morgan Greer. I actually taught myself how to read cards with the Morgan Greer. They were a gift, and I've worked with them for so many years, and I've replaced quite a few decks because they got worn out. So anyways, I've already dealt and flipped the cards over here, so I'm just going to go right into this. Okay, so the first card is the Five of Pentacles. And as you can see, the Five of Pentacles is feeling left out in the cold. That's what they're doing. They're basically on the outside looking in as opposed to the inside looking out. Now I know it looks kind of gruesome because he's got a bandage around his head and he looks like he's really disappointed and hurt, but you know what it means? It actually represents feeling lack. This is what you're feeling, that you've been feeling not good enough. You've been feeling that something is not all at par for what you need to do. Your standards might be a little too high, or you might be being, you could be feeling a little sensitive these days. And this card kind of just puts a really cap on that. We are right now at shadow season, that's what I call shadow season. It's Halloween season, my favorite time of year. One of my favorite times of year next to Christmas. But it represents basically all the same. We tend to get a little sensitive because it's getting darker, right? Where I'm at the Northern Hemisphere, North America. So we get winter and we get dark, and there's less sunshine. So we tend to get a little down. So this can also relate to feeling separated from what you really want. Just feeling like a lack. And that's just a feeling. It's not necessarily something that is valid. Like you are actually putting yourself into that thinking that you're not good enough, and you're actually comparing yourself to another. You're comparing yourself to someone else. Maybe you're feeling like you're not making enough money, or maybe someone else is like they're better. Why are they better? Like why is this person, or even in a relationship, you feel like you're separated, and you can be with that person, but you still feel like that person is just so closed and so distant, and you feel just really, really disappointed. Or maybe you're wondering, when am I ever going to have love? And there's a point here. You need to love yourself. You need to tell yourself that you are good enough. You need to know that you're worthy. I know, I'm speaking from experience, guys. Like, I'm not just saying this just to be saying this. I'm actually telling you, like, seeing this is that we tend to do this to ourselves. We sabotage ourselves and we think we're not good enough, and we just go on and on and on. And I'm one of the biggest perfectionists. Well, I can be, and not that I am, but I can be. I work not to be, because that can be a very negative trait, because it can actually sabotage you from living, right? And so that's what I'm just advising you right now, is to live a little bit, love yourself, do things that make you feel uplifted. Sometimes we always take easier ways out. We think, well, the shortcut is going to be the best way, and I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, I like shortcuts, but sometimes they also take a lot of hard work for something that you're trying to achieve. Like I said, self-love is very important. You need to find that balance. You need to find that within yourself, and you need to trust that whatever's going on, it's mental. It's the mind. The mind is telling you all of the such things. And so that's what happens to us. We tend to get that into our data, thinking that we're not good enough, and we just throw everything. We push people away from us, and we close our hearts, and then other people close their hearts, and they look at us and they say, I'm going to keep away from you. That's why maybe you're feeling alone, because you're shutting people out and you don't realize that. It's a behavior. And it's a incarnation, could be from somewhere else, could be ancestral. Whoops, sorry about that. It could be ancestral stuff, maybe something from a past, maybe your family from the passed down. It can relate to a past life. There's a lot of factors that are in here, but instead of going and trying to analyze that, you see how I said analyze that? Where did it come from? You know what? Just release it now. Like, just know that you're worthy, okay? The second card is the Seven of Wands. And also in the Morgan Greer, they call the wands rods. So I'm just going to say Seven of Wands, because it just comes out so freely. And the Seven of Wands is assertive, asserting yourself, standing your ground. As you can see, he is surrounded by other wands, and the wands are action. And you see, nobody's believing him. Nobody is listening to him. They are just kind of like fighting with him. They want to get their way. They're very stubborn. They're trying to get their point across. And, you know, they're actually making it seem like he's unfair, like he's actually feeling unfair. So instead of attacking them back, what he needs to do is assert himself, because being assertive is a nice thing. Not to say to attack the person, but just asserting yourself and speaking your truth. And also this can relate to somebody that can be somebody that is being too bossy around you, and you're feeling that. Well, don't get upset. Like don't allow yourself to fall into the trap of being a victim, because you're not a victim. Okay, you are not a victim. You hold all the keys to your castle. I always say that, and you do. You have everything that you need, just like the Five of Pentacles said. And this is relating to relationships. You know, sometimes we feel like everything is not good enough, and we feel like it's just a lot of resistance, you know, and that is, you got to spiral up. You got to turn it all around. You see, there's a lot of green that's on his rods too, or wands. And that is growth. So there's a lot of growth. So through the dark, or through the negative that may seem negative, is actually a learning experience on this. You know, so whoever comes into your life that gives you a challenge, and look at that person. It could be your boss. Look at that person, or your neighbor, and look at that person and say, what are they teaching me? They're actually teaching me something. I had a neighbor. I'll just give you an example. I had a neighbor. And she was really nasty. Like, we shared a hallway, and I was there first. I was like there many years first, and many years before her. And so I had stuff there, right? And there was no room for her stuff, but we had an agreement, right? And anyways, she used to just say, oh, you need to clean the hallway. You need to do this. She was really mean, but she was really, really negative, and was the only neighbor that I had that did this to me, that when I was living in that apartment. And you know what? It taught me. She made my life miserable for those year and a half, I have to say. At the time, that's what I thought of. But then I said, you know what? I have to learn from this. It actually got me to speak my truth. I told her what I felt. She didn't know. She started crying. She was like, I had no idea that I was hurting your feelings, because I allowed her. See? I allowed her to open up her poison to me, and just say what she wanted to say. And I never would say, because I wanted to be nice. And I was like, okay, I'll clean it up. Okay, I'll clean it up. I'm just giving you an example with the Seven of Wands, was being assertive. And then when I did, I came up to her and I said, you know, you're making me feel on edge and making me feel uncomfortable. And I have to say, I'm feeling this, and I'm feeling like you're attacking me. I told her, I'm feeling like that, not saying you're doing this and you're doing that. I said, I'm feeling this way. And we became really good friends after, or somewhat friends, acquaintances, and after that it was much better. She moved out though. And anyways, I did a little decluttering myself. So everything was a learning experience, right? It's through those things we learn. So it's compromise too, but it was many, many years ago. So anyways, the next card is the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is some form of disillusionment. Something that you're in denial of, and you don't want to believe it. You actually want to try to make your hair turn into gold. It's like, you know, Rapunzel or something. Like you're actually living in a fantasy world. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say you're in a fantasy world, but it might be just that the situation at hand is leading you to false hope. So there's something here, and whatever jumps out at you when I'm saying this is the message that you need to hear. So sometimes we feel that something is so much better, and we can have that, and it's like it doesn't work that way. And even with goals, like, we can have a goal in mind. I have to say, like, just give you another example about myself. I know I'm using myself as an example today, but anyways, I used to do lots of art, and I used to sell lots of it as well. And, I came to the conclusion, it didn't work because, you've heard that word, the starving artist. Well, I wasn't starving, but it wasn't really paying the bills at the time. And, it's fine because it takes a lot of work, right? So, but I not gave up the dream, but I actually said, well, I have to actually get out of the fantasy of that being this famous artist, me being like the next, she's coming to mind, Frida, or the next Michelangelo, or Van Gogh. I just gave that up. And you know what? I actually sold more art after that. Prints. I made prints. I made small things. Instead of selling my masterpieces, I was making copies and making little note cards and postcards and all that kind of stuff. And you know what? It flew. It really did really well. I turned it around and also made my signs, and I did lots of things. And now I do Dave's art. Dave's my husband, and he's a musician, and I do a lot of his artwork for his album covers, for previous album covers. And that gives me joy. I'm really grateful, and I use it in a different way. Just give you an example. You turn it around. That was my career thing, right? I'm not saying that you can't have everything that you want, but through your goal and what you're looking for, you're actually going to find the rainbow, or you're going to find the light at the end of the rainbow. So you have to go through all of those things. So focus yourself on one specific thing that gives you joy. Focus on what really makes you happy. And by making yourself happy, like doing these things, you're actually going to accomplish a lot. In love, this relates to, I'm going to tell you, there's a little bit of denial in something. I'm not saying that somebody is no good for you. I'm just saying that they're not telling you the full story. And I know you might be thinking, oh, so they are cheating me. No, I'm not saying they're cheating on you. I'm not saying that they're lying to you. It's just that there's more going on the surface than what you see. There's more to the situation. Maybe this person is going through having a really hard time and really challenging difficulties, and they're not telling you about it because they don't want to involve you, or they just don't want to tell you. It's just keeping everything in clouds. You see castles in the air. The clouds are around all these choices, and also represent scattered energy. And I know you might think, oh, Mary's like going all over. She's going here, she's going there. But actually, that's what it's all about. I'm reading for the collective, right? And you take what you need and you leave what you don't. That's how it works. So you take all of these cards together. I'm going to just say you need to honor yourself, and you need to empower yourself, and you need to focus. You need to write it down. I always say the best way to accomplish a goal is to write it down and surround yourself with like-minded people. Find your tribe. When I say tribe, you don't have to hang out with them, but just have those people surrounding you. Like, we have a beautiful community on IG, on Instagram. We have a beautiful on social media. I surround myself with people that are like-minded like myself. When I say I watch their videos, I don't watch gossip. I don't do that because that's not what I'm all about. And I don't really believe in that, because it's just why like people that vent and that are negative, and that's fine. That's their stuff. No judgment here. I'm just saying, like, for myself, I like to uplift, because I can be like that. We all could be like that. We can all spiral down. Why spiral down? Spiral yourself up. Be surrounded by light-hearted people that are like yourself, that are all doing the same thing, because it takes a lot of work to be happy. When I say a lot of work, I mean that sometimes when we're feeling down and sensitive, it's really hard to spiral up, and we have to do all the things. This is my reading room / office / healing room, and I surround myself with lots of childlike wonder things. I got my fairy tree over here. I have lights. I have fairy lights. I have other lights and more fairies and mermaids over here. I have beautiful painting. I'm just showing you. Just one day I'll show you. I'll make a video of a tour when it's all done, because I'm not finished. I'm not finished with that side. So I'm just giving you an example. Uplift. Find yourself places and go to places that uplift your spirit, and don't always have to be so rigid. Remember that. I like to just take a day off and sometimes just go someplace where I've never been to, and you know what, just seeing different sights. It doesn't mean that you have to go all to a different country or anything like that. Just go take a different route, different place. The place that I'm living in now was only a mile away from my old place that I lived in, and can I tell you something? It feels like a completely different area. Like this part of the beach is completely different. I've been living in the beach for over 25 years in where I'm at, in Toronto, in the beaches area, this whole area. And I never seen this part. Well, I did see it, but I never saw it this way. And there's different parts that I'm discovering. So you can discover different areas and different places, and just go and open up your mind and open up the horizons. You'd be amazed by what you can see and how you can feel and how you approach everything, and you attract. What you put out is what you attract. Okay, sorry. I know I'm moving the camera a lot because I'm talking with my hands, and I'm all excited. Always like that. When I'm doing readings, I always get all excited. I do. And so anyways, I hope that this reading was helpful for you. And if you're interested in getting a longer reading, go to my website and subscribe to my newsletter first, because if you subscribe, I give 10% off your first reading, and I give also a magical coloring book with lots of paintings and things that I've created with affirmations that can help uplift your energy, as well as 2 guided meditations that I recorded. One, Love and Abundance, that you can do daily, and also, well, you can do it one in the morning, one in the evening, and another one, which is Align Your Chakras. Okay, and they're both amazing, and you got to listen to them. So go to my website, psychicsoulmatereading.com, and when you subscribe, please wait for the email of the confirmation. Confirm your email address. Don't reply to me and say confirmed. You press the button down and say confirm, and then when you do, you're automatically going to get an email with the code for 10% off the 2 meditations and the coloring book. But you got to check your spam folder, because sometimes, I'm only saying this because I get tons of emails asking me. You got to check your spam folder, because sometimes it goes in there. I don't know. I'm not in control of the email program that I work with. So anyways, until the next video, I wish you all the blessings, peace and light.